Hi, I am Dr. Shivendra, and in this tutorial we will discuss the game object and prefab instantiation in Unity. So what is instantiation? Basically, instantiation is a process to create the instances of a game object or prefab in runtime. So there are various occasions in game where we use the instantiation. Actually, it can be used to load the various game objects in a scene dynamically. For example, like in action games, we cannot fix the count of enemies, or in racing game, we cannot limit the size of terrain. Suppose we have a racing game, so in that case, we cannot create the complete environment or complete terrain before the runtime, because this will be very time consuming process, as well as it will increase the size of game. Whenever we will run the game, it will take a very huge amount of time and a huge amount of processor in order to load the game. So in order to avoid these things, we use the instantiation to create the various game objects or to create the environment in a scene in runtime. Similarly, if we have action game, and in that action game, if a shooter shoots the enemies, if during the creation of game we will fix the count of enemies, so it will be very boring game, because after a certain time the shooter will finish all the enemies. So that's why, in order to avoid this problem, we can use instantiation process in order to create enemies in runtime. Okay, we have various flexibilities in instantiation method, where we can create any game object or any prefab in runtime in any location of the scene or with different orientation. This is very important thing, that the destruction of game objects is as important as the instantiation, because if we are creating the game object in runtime, so definitely after a certain amount of time our memory buffer or RAM will be full of these instances. In that case, our system may be hanged. So in order to avoid these things, we have to destroy the instances or destroy the instantiated game objects after a certain amount of time. Now we will see the concept of instantiation practically in Unity. So this is the default scene of Unity. Suppose here I am creating a game object cube. Okay, this is the cube, and we will also create a plane. Now enlarge the size of plane. Okay, we can see in game preview. Now we will assign some materials to this cube. Our objective is to create a prefab using this cube. So I have already downloaded some materials, like this is a brick wall, and in order to assign this material we will drag it on the cube. So here we can see that this particular game object is covered with a material of brick. Now suppose I am adding a component that is physics, oh sorry, rigid body with this cube. Okay, now if I will run this, so here we can see that due to rigid body this cube is falling down. Now I have to create a prefab of this cube. So we have already studied about the prefab. For that we have to just drag it into the asset panel. So here we can see that the color of this cube is now blue, so it means that it is converted into prefab. Now we can delete it from here. So we have this prefab cube. So whenever we require it, we can drag it into our scene. Okay. Now I want to create the instances of this prefab in runtime. It means I want to instantiate this prefab. Okay, so for that I have to create a script. So suppose I'm creating a C# script. I'm naming it instant. Okay. I cannot give the name as instantiation because it will conflict with the inbuilt functions. Now this script is opened. We have seen in the previous lectures that a script can only be activated when it will be associated with any of the game object in the scene. So here we can see that we have three game objects: main, camera, directional light, and plane. And we have to assign this script to any of the game object. So for that we can create an empty game object. Okay, we can place it. Suppose I am placing it here. So here we can see, though it is not visible, but due to transformation property we can place it. Okay, now we have to just assign this script to this empty game object. Now I want to instantiate this cube prefab using this script. So what we have to do, we have to call the method instantiate. So where we have to call it, in start or update function? Definitely in update function, because I want to instantiate the multiple copies of the game object, so definitely it will be written update. So here we can see that instantiate. Now the very basic argument passing method is we have to just pass the game object. So here the problem is which game object we have to pass, because in this script there is no game object is initialized. So for that we have to create a game object type of variable. Suppose cube1. Here I have initialized a cube1 variable of game object type. Now I will pass it in this instantiation function. Okay, it must be public. So now if I will run this script, so we can see that there is an error, that is the variable cube1 of instant has not been assigned. It means that how this script will know that he has to instantiate that prefab. So for that we have to click on this game object. So here we can see that the script is associated. Now since we have created a public game object, so here we can see that cube1 is mentioned here, but none game object is assigned. So for that we can drag this prefab here. So now you can see that in this script this cube1 will be initialized by this prefab. So here we can drag any game object or any prefab which we want to instantiate in runtime. Okay, So now here we can see that multiple clones are generated in runtime. Okay. If I will not mention the position of instance creation, so that all clone will be created in same place where the object will be placed with which that script is associated. So we can see that our empty game object is placed here. So that's why all the clone of this prefab are created on same place, and due to rigid body property they are just distracted after colliding to each other. As we have already seen in PPT, that destruction of the game object is also necessary because after a certain amount of time the clones of a game object will full the memory. So for that we can destroy the game object like this. We have to create another game object type variable, and we have to assign this created clones into G, and we have to explicitly tell that these are game object. Now we will pass this G into destroy method, and here we have to tell after how much time the object will be destroyed. So here I am writing 2f. It means after 2 seconds the created clones will be destroyed. Okay. So here we can see that after a certain amount of time this scroll bar is fixed. It is not in decreasing in size anymore because after 2 seconds the clone are getting destroyed. That's why the memory of the system will be flushed out dynamically. So there are various occasions when we need to create the instance of a game object on demand. So there are various games where we want to trigger the process of instantiation using mouse or keyboard. So in that case we have already seen that how we can take the input from keyboard or mouse. So here we can write a script for that. Input dot get, suppose I am taking this get key down. For that key code, here I am taking the space button. Okay, so using this code what I am doing, I will call the instantiate method whenever I will press the space button. It means whenever I will press the space button, one cube will be created in same position where the empty game object is. Now if I will press the space button, so here you can see that our empty game object is placed here. So cube is generated on the same place, but due to rigid body it is falling down. Okay. So here we can see that whenever I will press the space button, one instance of cube will be generated. As I already told you, there are various games where we don't create the complete virtual environment manually. Okay, like in racing game or in battle arena. So there are various static game objects which may be created in runtime. Suppose I'm creating a racing game, and for that game I want to create an infinite terrain so that the car can run on that terrain. So it is not possible to create the infinite virtual environment manually before the runtime. So for that I want to create this virtual environment in runtime. So for that, whenever I will start playing the game, I want to create a virtual environment automatically, and after a certain amount of time I want to enlarge or enhance the virtual environment as per the movement of the vehicle. Okay, so here, uh, since I have already told you, whenever I want to initialize static or dynamic game objects uh, at the time of first frame, so it must be written in start method. Okay, so here I am calling the instantiate method. The same thing, same cube will be called here. So I want that whenever I start playing the game, there should be 10 cube available in the environment. So for that, uh, I will write a loop int I, and I less or equal to 10. Sorry. So in this code, what will happen, whenever I will start playing the game, it will create 10 cubes initially at runtime. Okay, so now we can see that 10 clones of this cube are created, but due to rigid body they get distracted from each other. Now I want to create a virtual scene or a virtual environment where these cubes are placed systematically, okay, as per my requirement. Okay, so for that I have to explicitly tell that on which position these cubes will be generated. So here, first of all, is the game object. We can make it on default value. Suppose this is 0 0 0. We can just enlarge the size of plane. Okay, now we will create a vector 3 type of variable because we want to store the position of the empty game object, because with reference of this empty game object we will create our clones on a certain position. Okay, so now in vec uh, transform dot position, it means the position of the empty game object will be assigned in vec function. Now here we can see that this is a z direction and this is x direction, this is y direction. So I want to create a cubes sequentially in z direction in order to create a systematic virtual environment. So for that I will fix the position of x and y, but all the clones must have different values of z direction. So here, okay, so I am placing the every cubes in the interval of 2 units. Now I will see what kind of arguments we can pass here. So if the first one is we can pass only the game objects which we want to instantiate. Here we can see that we can use this method using three arguments, like we have to pass the cube, position where object will be created, and the rotation. Okay, so I want to instantiate the cube 1 and the position will be vac. Okay, so initially the vac is assigned with the initial position of empty game object, and in every loop it will be incremented in z direction. Okay, now I want the rotation as similar to the original game object. Okay, so here we can see that whenever I start playing the game, 10 cubes are placed systematically. Now I hope that you all are getting my point, that how we can create a dynamic virtual scene at the starting of the game. Okay, so there are many occasions where we want to instantiate game objects in random position and in random rotations. So for that we have option in mono behavior to create a randomized game object. So here we can see that we want to generate same game object cube1 in random position. So for that I have to provide random locations. So we can generate an object of vector 3, and here we have to provide the range for x, y and z direction. So this we can generate the random range. Suppose I am providing the range from minus 10f to 10f. So it means in x direction an object may be created between minus 10f to 10f coordinate values. Similarly for y, I can do the same thing, 10f to 10f, and similarly for z I can do the same thing. Okay, you can provide whatever range you want. Okay, so here we have provided the random coordinate values for vector 3. Now I have to assign the random rotation value for all the created objects. Now if I will run this script, so here we can see that multiple game objects are instantiated in random position and random rotation. Now I hope that you all are familiar with the concept of object and prefab instantiation, and you can create your own virtual environment in runtime. So if you have any doubt, you can comment me. Thank you.